become a thought leader, you've mastered as a practitioner, but you're certainly leading not only your past company, but new clients into this new era.
As we have arrived now in this world of FinTech with brand new providers of financial services utilizing all of this modern technology, it didn't just happen overnight. It's been a long time coming.
What does finance technology mean?
The reimagination of financial services.
Now that this aperture is opening up, are new entrants able to come in? Are women with great ideas for finance technology able to enter, or is it too late?
Oh, extraordinary opportunities. There's no doubt about that. There are new FinTechs coming onto the scene literally every day.
Wow. The game is changing. It's not the same.
It's a completely different ball game. I mean, the largest generation now, the largest generational cohort is young people, Generation Z, and they have completely different expectations for work, for play, for connection.
And we are back, Proven Not Perfect, on site at Women of Steel 2025. Man, if you have not felt the electricity in this place, I don't know what's going on in your veins, right? So right now, I'm here with Virginia Heyburn. There's an extra special name in there as well that I'm missing. You're going to have to pull it out. What is it? Grohs.
It's Grohs. It's my married name.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go. Is that Italian?
It's German.
It's German.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. It's beautiful.
It's my married name.
All right, so I have to tell the story of how we met. Little known fun fact for this, girly who finance businesswoman, right? There was a point in my career where things got so very hectic that yoga was the thing that became food to my soul. And so much so that I was like, I need to master this and take it into the boardroom with me. And I became a yoga teacher, right?
That's
right. And you were one of the gurus that I had the privilege to witness in that journey. You're amazing. Yes.
You are, Chandra.
Oh, my gosh. So now, so I knew you as yoga guru, but then I would come to unpack that and understand your business skills in finance, in particular FinTech, at a time where that was not necessarily something that was commonplace to talk about, off the chart, right? So much so that you've become a thought leader, you've mastered as a practitioner, but you're certainly leading not only your past company, but new clients into this new era. Wow, that's pretty incredible. So tell me, when you file back to when you first started talking about FinTech, and then you get to today, where it's a topic that everyone's trying to know more about, what does it blow your mind?
Yeah, Chandra, I have to tell you, I really appreciate that because can you tell my children that that's what I do? Because they're always like, Mom, what do you do?
Yes.
My mother used to ask me that too. But to answer your question, Chandra, I've been in the financial technology space for 30 years. Okay. And that's really what FinTech stands for, financial technology. And so as we have arrived now in this world of FinTech with brand new providers of financial services utilizing all of this modern technology, it didn't just happen overnight. It's been a long time coming.
That's
and
right
so
on.
I've been along for that long time coming ride. And so I get really passionate and excited to see so much of the promise now come to fruition.
Wow. Okay, so now we're going to break it down for the people in the cheap seats. What does FinTech mean? What does finance technology mean?
FinTech is a modern term that essentially describes the reimagination of financial services. In other words, very simply put, the realization, hey, there's a better way to do this.
Wow.
Banking does not need to be painful. It can be easy. It can be inclusive. It can be an extraordinary experience delivered on a device of choice.
Wow.
Maybe yours is a mobile device. Maybe I'd prefer to be on a tablet. Maybe in the future it's a virtual reality session. Maybe I'm on my refrigerator. But it is a simple, seamless, frictionless experience. And in some cases, traditional financial institutions are delivering that. In other cases, it's brand new competitors. And that's what's creating the excitement.
So honestly, as a business geek, self-proclaimed, I love that it's made space in an industry largely regulated, one where if you haven't been in it for a significant period of time, there was no real entree into it, right? We don't like to say monopoly, but certainly an oligopoly, right? And so my question is, now that this aperture is opening up, are new entrants able to come in? Are women with great ideas for finance technology able to enter, or is it too late?
Oh, extraordinary opportunities. There's no doubt about that. There are new fintechs coming onto the scene literally every day.
Wow.
So it's this idea that there is a better way to deliver financial services, and sometimes that better way is to tap into a particular group of human beings.
Yeah.
For example, women. For example, female entrepreneurs that having really unique needs and unique perspectives, and they want to be spoken to by technology, by companies, in a way that resonates. And so yes, opportunity abounds.
Wow. So tell me what's one of the coolest new offers that you've seen come about in new applications of FinTech recently?
You know, some of the best applications of technology that I've seen in FinTech are offered by brand new companies.
Okay.
So these are companies, I would say, like Chime, like Klarna, that's gotten into the buy now, pay later space.
Yes.
EYs that are really tapping into this shift in demographics, a brand new generation of customers in Gen Z that has grown up on social media, that's grown up with a mobile device in their pocket, that is extraordinarily entrepreneurial.
Yes.
You know, there's 75% of Gen Z says, I want to be an entrepreneur.
They don't want to work.
Our generation,
not in the structure.
Our generation, 25% maybe. We were, you know, let's go to the company, let's pay our dues, let's work in the cubicle,
let's be honest,
let's grow.
we were told to, right?
That is
like
true.
I literally had the option like this. You can do not take my advice and go to college and major in finance, or you can not take my advice and go to college and major in finance. Which one? That didn't feel like an option to me, right?
Pick your poison.
Yeah, pick your poison. But in all seriousness, I definitely remember the thinking was get a job, get a good job. My dad was very early on in finance, so really drove my major in finance. Insurance, risk, Wall Street, all those things were important to him. But all of the game is changing. It's not the same.
It's a completely different ball game. I mean, the largest generation now, the largest generational cohort is young people, Generation Z, and they have completely different expectations for work, for play, for connection, for friendship, for how they spend their time,
and
where they work, how they work.
Yeah.
They do, and of course, word of mouth is tremendous because they're on social media up to 8 hours a day.
Wow.
So if one of them has an idea, by tomorrow everybody's going to have the same idea. You know what I mean? So you've got this generational shift, and it's compounded by the fact that technology innovation is accelerating at the fastest pace we have ever seen.
That's right on.
So you put those two things together, and any company in any business, anywhere in the world, has got to be thinking differently about how they hire, how they deliver service, how they speak to their customers. The ball game has shifted entirely.
I want to talk about that because in the session earlier, one of the things that we hit on in AI was how companies are using technology and AI these days. And we talked about it in the context of market insights and things of the like. I am hearing from a lot of my daughter's friends that they're graduating from college and they're feeling pushed out by this new AI discerner for corporations. So no longer is HR reading that stack of resumes. They're putting an AI bot on it. It's screening through. And I'd be darned if I've had one conversation, I've had 10, where these younger folks are telling me, I am frustrated because I don't feel reviewed by a human anymore. What do you think about that?
Well, it's true, right? You know, you look at what AI is doing, and essentially AI is automating the minutia in a lot of companies. And unfortunately, a lot of minutia is still very much human-centric.
Yes.
So we have to be very careful about that. I think for young people, instead of pointing the finger at the technology, I think what young people need to do,
Yes.
and what parents of young people need to do,
Tell us.
is teach them, empower them, grow them,
Yes.
to be able to jump over that hurdle of being in the entry-level position. There will
Amen.
be no such thing as an entry-level position
I love
anymore.
that.
That's what AI is going to replace. So we have an opportunity, I think, to
Yes.
really shape our young people into being critical thinkers right out of the gate.
Yes.
To creating those conversations within families, within educational institutions, to ask the hard questions,
Yes.
to be able to jump over, to make that leap out of the entry-level position that you and I both started
Yes,
in because
they
we
don't
paid our
exist
dues.
anymore.
It's a different world.
So you know what? I go back to Proven Not Perfect, and I talk about my principles of leadership. One of them is resilience. And I know that you and I are like-minded here. We've talked about this. But there is a different role in parenting in this AI age, right?
Totally.
And it's gone. If you are still in helicopter parent mode, you have missed the memo. You
Missed
have,
it.
right? Because no, that's what we were sort of taught to do. However, you know, we were encouraged to resist it, but let's just face it, we all did it, right? Now, this new generation, teaching them resilience, helping them to understand the tools that exist, helping them to be able to articulate what they are good at and how to leverage those tools around their unique passion. Wow, what do you think?
Well,
you have a little one, so tell me.
I do, and Chantra, I'm maybe a little bit of a unicorn in this sense. I have 4 children ranging from 31 down to 7.
I
So
love that.
I'm a multi-generational mother.
Yes.
I gave birth to all of them, so I have this experience of raising millennials, a Gen Z, and now Gen Alpha, my little
Wow.
guy. And
What a unique opportunity. I'm
it
just going to
is.
say that.
I feel incredibly blessed to
You
be able
are.
to do this. Having a baby at 46, now being
I love
53,
that.
and having a 7-year-old, let me tell you what.
and we didn't even talk about perimenopause, and she's slipping babies in there.
Let me tell you, the human was not designed to go through menopause. But I often say to myself, I had teenagers.
Yes.
You know, would I rather have a teenager going through menopause, or would I rather have a cute little pumpkin of 6 years old?
That's
I'll
right.
take the 6-year-old.
pumpkin, any day.
Yes. What was your question,
So
Chandra?
what are you doing different? That's menopause. No, I'm
Yeah,
teasing.
with my little
That's
guy.
me. What are you doing different with your little guy now, based on how you see technology just really taking hold of how our folks are successful in the future?
Well, first of all, you know, I do hear this push from parents, let's keep the kids off technology.
Yeah.
Let's keep them off the gaming. And I think there's some truth in that, but also I think to remove them from technology is a big mistake.
I agree.
They need to learn to coexist
Yes.
with technology in a very healthy way.
I was really hoping you said that.
That's very, very important because let's face it, I mean, that's the world that they
Yeah.
are living in, that they need to grow into, that they need to be successful in. So I think it's mental health.
Double click. Do
Double
not
click.
take your kids off of technology. Instead, help them to integrate and how to leverage technology.
That's absolutely right. And the mental health piece, I think, that's what I'm really very aware of in my young one, that I don't know that prior generations really paid enough attention to.
No.
My older kids, I mean, they were high flyers. They were in IB programs. They were the ones that came out of school with 13 AP exams, which is all wonderful.
Yep.
But it's only wonderful if they're also mentally in a good place.
Amen.
And the pressure that we place
Oh, God.
on kids, on young people, on ourselves
Yes.
is immense. So with my younger one, what I get excited about with AI, and this is something that's a bit of a specialty for me because
Yeah.
I advise financial institutions on how to use AI.
Yeah.
I work with the boards and the C-level. We're going to get to a point where we're not going to be overwhelmed by the minutia anymore, Chantra.
Yeah.
Because we have, for generations, been overwhelmed by the minutia and therefore unable to see the whole being punctuated by wellness, by mental health.
Yes.
Now we can automate the minutia.
Yes.
We can get out of the river and onto the riverbank
love that.
and have a better perspective on what matters most. And that's what I am trying to teach my 7-year-old.
So I love that. Thank you for
Yeah.
giving us a little peek into your mommying, part 2. But this notion of let's not be scared of it, let's lean into it. As you're talking with C-suite, right? Because, now you're in my lane, my job, my day job, right?
Yeah.
Where we're thinking about, okay, For our corporation of 50,000 around the world, how do we let go of the fear just to the extent that we can lean into the art of the possible? But I will say we're on that journey, no different than other corporations, of figuring out what that fine line looks like, right? Yeah. What do you tell the C-suite right now? What are you saying to your clients that are saying, okay, there's compliance, there's governance, there's liability, there are all the things that we're all very accountable for to our shareholders and stakeholders. But then also, if we do not lean in and lean in quickly, we will create a chasm of a gap between ourselves on the wrong end and our competition.
I could not agree more with what you just said. I think it's, first of all, leaders have to be AI fluent.
Yes.
And then become AI proficient. If they are not, they can't set the tone from the top. And leadership is embodied. You have to embody leadership, whether it's picking up a piece of paper off the floor and that spreads, or whether it is learning about AI, learning about its benefits, its risks, how to reconcile the two, and then also passing that along to the organization. So that's obviously one. And I think it's also...
That's a big one.
It's a big one.
Because people misunderstand that you can't just tell your people, start figuring out AI. You've got to start leading with it.
That's right.
I've got to start hosting meetings where I'm leveraging it.
Yes, and you have to get proficient, because AI is a term that's used widely, but there are actually very different ways of utilizing AI. AI has been around for decades.
Yeah.
Traditional artificial intelligence has been in place, utilized by big companies for eons.
And the military.
Sure, it's where you look at data, you analyze data, you action the data, and you make better decisions. That's been around forever. What we talk about, and what we've talked about at this conference, is generative AI. Generative AI that burst onto the scene with ChatGPT. Everybody got really excited about it. 100 million people started using it. Then it was 200 million. Then other models emerged. That's where you can say to an organization, you don't need to spend 16 hours writing a marketing brochure. You can do it in 1 or 2.
That's right.
And then, does that mean you need fewer people? It could mean you need fewer people, which is, let's face it, business is business.
That's absolutely right.
Efficiency, shareholders are looking for that.
Truly a metric.
But then it's also that you can, again, automate the minutia so that you can be focusing on what's important strategically.
Yes.
And that is where companies' growth comes from. So that's one. The other one is I heard this term today in the conference, and I loved it. I wrote it down. It's scaling the unscalable.
Ooh.
So when you look at...
That was a good one to pick up.
It's a good one, because I'll talk about my industry, banking.
Yeah.
We have large banks, and we have thousands of small banks and credit unions that have, for a long time, been worried, how am I going to compete long-term against the larger financial institutions? We're talking Bank of America, we're talking Chase, we're talking Wells. Now we're talking FinTechs like Chime. Did you know that over 50% of new checking accounts today are opened with FinTech banks?
Did not know that.
Over 50%.
Oh, wait. Over 50%
of new checking accounts.
Wow.
Who's opening new checking accounts?
It's
young people.
It's the young people.
They love the FinTechs, the great experiences.
And they're more fiscally wise than I believe we were at their age. Why pay fees that you don't have to pay when I don't need all of that?
Hey, look, I often hear young people are, going to be on my couch for the rest of their lives as a parent. Not true. They're the most well-traveled. They're they speak more languages. They're environmentally aware. They're socially conscious. They're up to big things at an earlier age.
Agree.
So I just love engaging with young people. And let me tell you, if you ask them questions, you're going to learn something from them, right? So, in that vein, if you look at smaller financial institutions, they have the ability now with technology, with artificial intelligence, to scale, to grow with the resources that they already have. Because they can't afford to invest in a bunch of AI engineers, AI scientists, technology enthusiasts. They have to work with what they have. Well, now AI is telling them, you're going to do 10x more than what you were able to do yesterday.
That's incredible.
You're going to not only stay in business, you're going to thrive, you're going to seek new target markets, you're going to reach new customers, maybe not even in your own geography. You're going to partner with FinTechs, and you're going to be around for a good long time. That's what excites me.
So if you really play this game of life right in this next half and you lean into technology, I think we almost get a bit of a reprieve because so many of us are coming from the bootstrap it, do it hard, make it happen. Those things the tech will do for you, the mundane,
Yes.
to leave you doing the thing that you always wanted to do, which
Yes.
was to strategize, which was to vision,
Right.
which was to lead, which was to engage. You get to do more of that.
Do more of that. Do more connecting. And that's where I think the value of technology really reveals the benefits to humanity. Because I think we lose sight of our own humanity when we're overscheduled, when we're overburdened,
That's right
when we're
on.
buried in the minutia. And as leaders, if we have more time, we use that time to establish the human connection, to bring people together, to collaborate at the human level, eyeball to eyeball. There's so much value in that. It's much needed in the world that we operate in. And when we bring people together, good ideas surface. Those ideas carry our companies forward.
I love that. All right, so we have to do this in pure, proven, not perfect fashion. I need to hear a not perfect experience that you've had with tech.
A not perfect experience I've had with tech. Well, ChatGPT is a great, a great example. So I will say, just to play with it, I speak at conferences, a lot of conferences.
Yes, you do.
And I travel all over the country. And so just to play, I would say, okay, ChatGPT, give me an opening for a speech on artificial intelligence in banking. And then I get it back, and it's all doom and gloom. Oh, there are words like fear in there and failure. And so I'll say, this is a little too dark and grim for this audience.
Yes.
Can you give me something a little bit more uplifting? And then it fires something back at me, and it's got a really big Gen Z voice in it with all kinds of young terminology. Like, this is fire. And I said, okay, that's not my voice.
So wait a minute. You're going to the conference, and you're like, okay, here I am. I'm Virginia Heyburn. I'm going to educate you guys. We're all damned to hell.
Basically.
And if you don't like that, fire!
So we've got these two extremes. So now ChatGPT and I are better friends. ChatGPT knows me a little bit better, so it knows my voice.
I love that.
But technology does fail, you
Yes,
know?
it
I mean,
does.
it's my iRobot sometimes just without any prompting just starts vacuuming in the middle of my conference call, and I have no idea why it does that.
So
I really wish it would.
This is the truth of the matter, right? We're not being taken out of the equation. And I think that that's one of the things that even came up in the conference today, where there's some people that are crippling with fear, giving their information, losing their footing. And I like to say that it's literally only going to amplify where you are, right? And I actually thought, because I was in a conversation recently where someone said to me, you know what? Those kids coming out of college, they have a tech skill, a tech savvy. All of the more senior folks, there's no use for you anymore because them plus AI, no need for us. No. Because I believe that what makes AI great makes it great at all levels, right? And so if you're just coming in and you have a baseline understanding, it's going to be excellent about helping you to aggregate that baseline understanding for a smarter conclusion. If you have been packing 30 plus years like you and I have in the game, right?
Yep.
When we use AI and it gives you the gobbledygook and you're like, no way, right?
Yeah.
You know, no, that's not the answer, right? How do I take the provocative inquiry that you command as a businesswoman for so many years and reprogram that with a question that has it spit back to you something that's at the intellectual need that you have for the moment, right? So I don't know your thoughts on that, but I'm not afraid of it anymore.
You know, it just makes me so much more efficient in what I do. So, you know, if I'm giving a speech to a group of bankers and I need an opening or I need a close, I never use notes, but it's just something to inspire my thought. it's such a much faster process, for me to get my thoughts together and then do what I do. If I, for example, need to write an article for a publication, I can prompt ChatGPT and say, this is what the tone needs to be, this is my audience, these are the components that I want you to include. I still need to know that I want those components in there.
Yeah.
So that's where my experience comes in.
No one can take that away.
It brings it back, and it takes me far less time. I will wordsmith, I will move things around, I'll add something in, I'll take something out, and I will reframe, but it makes me a lot more efficient, more productive. I can do more if I so choose, or I can say, I need a mental health break.
That's right.
I need to take some time for myself. I need to go to the volleyball game for my little guy.
You need to practice yoga.
I need to practice yoga.
That's excellent.
Because calm mind, calm breath, calm mind, calm everything.
Yes. So, in that spirit, and we only have a couple seconds left, what do you think is going to be the impact of yoga plus this high-tech world and the interwoving or the extra need for it based on us all being in this dynamic place and needing to breathe more, unplug more?
Well, I think I hinted at it earlier. I think it's focusing less on the minutia and more on the whole.
There we go. There we go. Focus less on the minutia, more on the whole. Virginia, you're amazing. I know that you're out there talking with C-suite, and you're also out there continuing to be a thought leader on this topic of FinTech. I think the work that you're doing is fantastic, and it's only going to get more important as we continue to integrate with this dynamic world. Keep rocking it out, sis. Love you.